Right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Wetland Awards for 2022 as we recognize the winner in the category of stewardship with Eric Qonya. Eric, welcome and good morning to you, and thank you for your time for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
It's good to have you. Eric, can I just ask you as a question to start with? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up and what was your education background?
Oh, myself, I grew up in King Williamstown area, and then I got educated same around Zwelitsha, and then I went to the College of Agriculture up in Tombisileka, and then working in the previous government. Yes, that was Department of Agriculture. Then we're doing my diploma there, and then have been working for Siskai then, and we've been specializing in the fish farming.
Okay.
So we've just been doing that, and then that we've been stocking some dams, and then breeding trout, and then doing all the aquatic work in the then Siskai up until the new dispensation we're in. We joined the bigger conservation department, of which the then hatchery then was just closed down in about 2004. And then we moved now to the East London office. I was just working at Pier during that time around King Williamstown. I remember the other time, me, David Lanley, Donovan Cox and the team, when we started the Wetlands in Daba, in the Eastern Cape. So actually it was our first wetlands endeavor that we started in a kind of an informal way together with John Dini and them. So we did it at Piri. And so my bosses, because I had that background of the aquatic conservation, aquatic work, then they appointed me to dealing with wetlands, whilst David Langley was doing some kind of he was kind of a catalyst in terms of a wetland conservation in the area. So I came up joining them, and then you get trained by them. And Donovan Coates was a person who was busy training us. So I've been moving from this area to this area around the area. In all the wetlands that were happening in the Eastern Cape, that is up as well at up in Kokstad, the wetlands up in Kokstad. But however, the main thing that I can say, I've been doing most of my wetland work in the Amatole region, East London area. There's this district called Amatole. So that's where I have been much more concentrated on doing much of some capacity building, working with schools, working with the communities. And then that's where most of my part have been. So also with the national, just been moving here and there. Also, at some point we had to go to Malawi for the wetlands training that we were just represented. We just represented the South African government there on terms of the wetland training in that area. There was a SADC training. So we did that, and then I was one of the delegates. So most of my time I've just been working much more with the chiefs of the local area, with the municipalities, and then all those people trying to coordinate some wetland stuff. So I think that's just about me as well. Also, been doing some kind of the river health program, working with DWAF.
Yes. Okay.
It was yes. So we've just been doing that work most of my time. So that's where I just got most of the experience, and then also been generating some being part of the wetlands in the Eastern Cape. Running the wetlands in Daba was always been instrumental for the province. So I've just been working in the province and working in the Amatole and spending much of my time, about 70% in the wetland areas. So with the municipality and them. I think that's just, yes.
That's a lovely summary, Eric. That's excellent. Eric, is there something that inspired you to work in wetlands? Was there a spark or something, or was it like a lot of it happens to some of us, that we just end up going in a direction for our careers. But was there something that was a spark for you that got you into wetlands?
Whew. Yeah, I can tell you one of the persons that drive me into this, David Lindley and Donovan Coates
Yeah.
just been moving around. But at some point, it was so hard working at Nsekeni wetlands. Then I said, whoops. Yeah, I thought that I would not be interested.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
later on, because I just got exposed looking onto the environment, and then I built in enthusiasm. And then the encouragement I got from the department, because I was just the only person, because in the wetland conservation during those times, 1998, it was myself here, and up in Free State, the other guy there, and then we're just few, and
Yeah.
also in Mpumalanga. And so I just got that interest and bit in that interest. And then the department was also supporting me, because I was the only person who was just doing this in the department. I had all the support from the department. You could do everything that I could do. It was just very much interesting.
Yeah.
And then it sparked my interest. And then I've just been with schools, and then with the communities, and then with the awarenesses every time, every year. And then also within where I stay, it just was just so marvelous. And then, yeah, it just sparked me.
Yeah.
I just in enthusiasm on that, especially having that background of because we've just been dealing with the fisheries, talking of dams and rivers, and then doing such kind of a assessment. So then the issue of wetland got built up on me for the past kind of 24 years, I would say, starting from 98 to date.
That's lovely,
So,
Eric. I can hear it in your voice, and I can see it in the smile on your face, which is lovely to see. So awesome. Eric, can you just tell us a little bit about the organization that you work for now? What is the name of it, and what is it that the organization does?
Yes, I myself, I'm working with the Department of Economic Affairs, Environment and Tourism in the Eastern Cape. But I'm on the side of with the section, environmental affairs section. And then particularly there, I am working with the biodiversity section. That's where I belong. So we're working with partners, because our department has got some environmental impact assessment, EES, environmental empowerment services, compliance, and then so that's environment. So we are just assisting if ever there's anything that relates with the wetlands for the development, housing development, settlement unit. They normally would be calling me to kind of form part of them, and then doing the assessment.
Okay.
So that's what I normally do. As also, if ever there is a compliance issue, I just go with the guys from compliance, and then we start doing that, especially up in the Amateur, up at Hawksback. There's just a lot of challenges that are happening there.
Yeah.
So one of the things that while I was just driving through, I did saw that there was a kind of a wetland training, and probably I did present in some other wetland forums. And from that end, now the compliance guy got in, and then he was given a Section 24G kind of an option to do that. So he's being undertaken that thing now. So I just work with this section and with this section, and also with Department of Agriculture and with Department of Forestry. I just don't know those names now.
Yes, no, that's fine.
Also with the municipalities, kind of doing mapping, and then also engage with these drought-stricken areas like Kelina Dam areas, wherein I form part of those, as well as this dwarf ecological health assessment of the system. Just recently, we have been undertaking with Donovan Coates, and then on the Amasele wetland area, as well as Yellowwoods north of Bishop. So just been instrumental in that, as well as the guys doing some river health program for some of the Tsitsikama, whatever those areas. So I've just been instrumental, and myself doing some kind of social facilitation.
Okay.
So I just know most of those chiefs I know if ever they were to say we are going there, I just link up with the chiefs in the area, local communities, have meeting with them prior that there would be some people coming in. So that's just the work that I've been doing. I am doing at the present moment.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, you're basically involved in everything, Eric.
Yes.
Eric,
Yeah.
do you, I mean, you've been around in the wetland community for many years and you've seen a lot of wetlands, but I have to ask this question. Is there a wetland, a favorite wetland that you have? And if so, where is it located? Is it possible for you to find one that you have as a favorite?
Yes, Mark. You know, having dealt with most of the wetlands in the areas, there's some communal wetlands, there's agricultural, and the ones that are in the forest state areas. But the one that I kind of fell in love with, and then I loved so much, just is the one up in Yellowwoods, Pilton area.
Okay.
Yes, north of Bishop. You know, that wetland, yeah, it's quite very huge. And then, yeah, it plays an important part in water supply to the to the community there.
Okay.
As well as also during a drought area, you could just provide a lot of some vegetation. Yeah, it's just very huge, and then it's the ecological space diversity. There's so much the bird life, and then the plant life. It's just, you know, that's just very much unique. So much that I've started engaging the community in there. At some point, there's some part of it.
Yes.
That has been that I normally was working on, of which I had a wetlands wetlands day celebration in. But then having moved to the other section of the community, that one seemed to be very much perfect and pristine. And then myself and the education component, we are also going to be putting in, doing some kind of empowerment services in there, some environmental education to engage the community in terms of conserving that wetland. So that one I can say, among other wetlands, there are those that are up very huge up at Seymour, Hawksbeck, but then I just love this just small one that I've recently been engaged with, because it's also got some species, species of in terms of the fish species, the red fish species that are there, of which we normally would be going there, doing some sampling, trying to check the habitat and how is the fish that is there. That is the Sandilia benzai, it's Cape Rocky. So that's just what attracted me as a flagship in terms of conserving that wetland.
Brilliant.
And of course, some other fish species and their frogs. So it's just the vegetation. So that's what is about that wetland. While there are some other ones that are very much
sure. I know.
Okay, good.
Eric, is there a highlight of your career that stands out for you? Is there something that is important to you in this long career that you've had that stands out as something important or a highlight for you?
Yeah. So in a meeting. So actually, which one can I say?
Oh.
Yeah, actually, the highlight that I am with my work is much more about aquatic conservation.
Okay.
So that's where my background, my training, because I'm just doing both these two things, that is the wetlands as well as the aquatic. Because what I normally do, anything that relates with the aquatic, if ever some people come into our office, they need a permit to farm this fish, to transport this fish. I normally do that. That's kind of my work that I normally do on every day.
Yes.
Normally going visiting the areas, looking into the habitat, whatever, all those things. That's what I just normally do. But now specifically, and then I also have been much more engaged with this one of the wetlands. But those are the two things that I'm doing, and then I'm assisting in the region as well as in the province.
Lovely. Eric, your award in stewardship, I think the category is important because it indicates just your involvement in the environment of wetlands and your assistance in getting things done and the whole aspect of conservation of water resources. What tips would you give to young up-and-coming wetlanders that want to go into wetland research? What can you tell them today about what you've experienced as Eric for what they might want to do to continue in the field of wetland research?
Oops, yeah, I can tell you the field itself is challenging. It needs somebody who's got the passion.
Yeah.
And then the passion you build.
Yes.
That enthusiasm, you have to be hands-on, you have to always be on the field.
Yes.
Always with the little type of wetlands, your eyes, as you drive through the road, you are able to see those very small, tiny wetlands, the seep, the pens that are there, the diversity. So it's just about somebody becoming part, forming, just giving himself or herself into it. He builds that. You just build up on that, start by little things, and then identifying, go do some little assessment in the wetland. You just build through that, collecting some pieces. For example, I normally would be going with my children that were doing some kind of a science from home. I say this weekend we are going to walk onto the wetlands that is in this township, and then assessing, doing some plant collection.
Okay.
To the diverse plant species that are there.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how I normally would be doing. Yeah, I remember one of my daughter who did a presentation up at in KZN at some point. So he followed up on that, and then he's still building in, he's working with the environmental things. So he was a student by the time, and then he did present, taking back from the work that I normally was exposing them. So I would love to say to the young scientist, it is always good to build the passion, take it bit by bit, and then just do some collection, just do the very little work, and then build up on that, and then give time, do some kind of reading, be part and parcel of those, the meeting, the trainings, like the one that we are going into, the national wetlands in Daba. So those, you meet various guys that are on the wetland work, as well as also in your area.
Yes.
There are some, you need to come to find a way to work with the municipalities, with the communities, with just everybody that you can find your hands-on work and then build the experience. So that's what I have been doing. That's how I can encourage the young wetlanders or young scientists to be enthusiastic. And also, we know that most of them like to get to this job, quickly move to the other one, just without even getting much experience on this one. So that's just the problem we're having with our guys, mostly in our department. Whilst you are empowering this one and empowering, and then later on find that you just move to the other job, but that you cannot do. But it's just encouraging to work to build in that enthusiasm. So that even if somebody works up at night, you're able to see that one is here, that one is there.
Yes.
Like it is with us. Yes.
Eric, thank you so much for your time today and sharing a little bit about who and what is Eric. It's been a lovely chat with you. And again, congratulations on your award. It's important with the work that you're doing, and I think what you've just shared with us a little bit today, the stewardship that you're involved in is amazing. It's probably from here to here. So thank you very much for your time, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. I really was not expecting that. I was shocked. Yes. Okay. Now, thank you so much then.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay. Goodbye.